Okay, guys. Wait a minute. I'm going to do something. Okay, I'm back. I had to turn on the other light for more lighting. It's dark now in Florida. Well, I have 13 more days. Anyway, I'm doing a series on why I can't. I can't. I just why I do this. Why I attack other white guys, expats in the Philippines. So I'm in Cebu, and I found a place, a building near IT Park. Rent was cheap, and I'm 2 weeks in, and this is all true. 2 weeks in, like a year and a half ago. So I'm enjoying life. I'm enjoying the Philippines, and I'm on the third floor. Now, mind you, the owner of this hotel building houses the expats on the third floor. So I seen a couple prostitutes going in and out of the doors. That didn't bother me. So yet didn't bother me yet. But I said to this guy, "Hi, how's it going? Where are you from?" And he goes, "Wisconsin, in the U.S. I don't know what city, I don't know what town, but I think he's from the Midwest. And most of those guys are weird anyway in the Midwest. My ex brother-in-law was from Illinois, and he was weird. Had to train him. Anyway, I got a 2-1. I got a 1 bedroom. So I'm paying like 17,000 pesos for this thing. So I'm happy. The girlfriend's happy. Girlfriend's didn't want to live with me. That's fine. Um, didn't know why she didn't want to live with me, but when I tell you this story, you realize why she didn't want to live with me. So I met this guy. He's sitting there and I'm saying hi, and you know, small talk again. Try to be a nice guy. Try and be sociable. A couple weeks go by. They go to the elevator, and meanwhile, his wife, who was a Filipina, is pregnant. This she was pregnant. No big deal. So I go in the elevator, and these two, his wife and him, go in the elevator with me. And he goes, "When are you going back to the States?" And I go, I don't know, when I feel like it. And he goes, "How can you do that?" And I said to him, I knew he was trying. She probably he was trying to get financial background on me, and I got pissed. I was pissed. I was, how dare you ask me how can I Bible thumper? This guy didn't have a pot to piss in. Again, I call it the Bible thumper because he basically, pastor, one of those fake pastors. So they cornered me like an animal, like a dog, in the elevator. And I believe she wanted to know why I could afford the 1 bedroom, because they're in one of those boxes with her 2 kids, him, and her 4 people in a small unit. So after he said, "How can you do that?" I lost all respect for him. I lost everything. I knew he was pegging me for money. I mean, not money, but my financial background. After I said I could do whatever I want because I have the income, goodbye. Now, if he was smart enough, he would have said, "Hi, Craig, how's it going? How was your day? Oh, by the way, what do you do for a living?" I would have told him. Instead, it was in my face. It was in my face. And I never experienced that before. I did in one of the office interviews back in North Palm Beach, and I just, that's what I mean. All the stories I give you guys, it's 100% real. I mean, I'm like, how dare you ask me how can you afford it? It's like It's none of your business what I do, or you know what I mean. It was like it was 2 weeks in. You don't know me yet. If you wanted financial information, I think you could did ease into it. You know what I mean? Not just in my face, in my face. How can you do that? I think she wanted to know the business, my business, not him, but the Filipino wife. Man, what a and he was he was strange. He was, you know, I won't get into it, but he just, like I always said to you guys, I'd rather see a guy go back to the US or Canada or Australia and work for a couple months, get the money, and come back to the Philippines. I had to do the same thing. I had to come back to do business. And a lot of these guys don't, I guess they don't think about it or don't want to do it, but don't beg for money. And his nonprofit, the same guy who, the same guy who complained about 20 pesos overcharged for he said that he was overcharged for the local service store. And I know the owners of the service store. When I go back to the Philippines, Cebu, I'm staying at the same building. I won't tell you where I stayed at. I made a mistake there. Yeah, that's another story in itself, which I will tell you in this avenue of stories. So I won't tell you what he did to his adopted kids, but it was, I can't. But that was 2 weeks in. That was 2 weeks in, and the funny thing is, I was I was mad at the time. I still am. I am still mad at the guy because I never been treated like that, except from the women in America. All these guys, I guess, act like women in the U.S. or Canada or the Australia, and I'm like, you know, it was like that was the first episode of these expats. I'm going to give you sillies, and next video I'll tell you another true story. It's 100% true. It's 100% true. Wish I had the camera to show you guys. I mean, weird comments. After that, he didn't. He just left me alone. After that, God will save me. God will do this. God, he was, I, he was a fake, actually. Money to stay in the Philippines, actually. Instead of going back 6 months out of the year, I'm not saying teach online from the Philippines. I know a guy like that too. There's a bunch of guys who do that. Next video, I will tell you another story. That guy, again from the U.S., started yelling at me for no reason. That's another video. Maybe tonight or tomorrow. But man, I see. I would never do that. I would never. I would never went up to anyone and scheming like that. If I would have said, "Oh, what did you do for a living back in the day?" And actually, he actually said he was a stockbroker back in the day. And you know what? I just said, "Oh, well, small talk. Everyone, for me, what did you do back in the U.S.? That's fine, but don't come in the elevator and assume that I'm broke or richer than you, or why the disabled guy with cerebral palsy is in a one bedroom and you guys are in a small room with four people." She wanted the one bedroom, but he can't afford it. If he did, he would have the one bedroom, right? He wouldn't have said that. She wanted to know my business. Then sit down and talk to me normally. Talk to me. I don't tell you the truth. I don't tell you my life story if you ask me nicely. It wasn't. It was like, wanted to know now, wanted to know now. Wanted, you know, the rudeness of that, being rude, be and he's supposed to be a man of God. I never, you know, in my whole life, I never seen a guy do that. I never seen a person, a male in the U.S., a white guy. I never seen a guy do that in my life. Here's my business card. You can look me up on the internet. You know what I mean? He could have said, "Oh, you got a business card?" Oh, I didn't have business cards in the Philippines. Oh, I did. I did to pass out for the Filipinos. Pro tip, guys: get business cards. It's only $20, 1,000 or 500 business cards with your name, email, and phone number. I just yeah I didn't understand that. Why would you rush in? I'm in the elevator. You can always come in the elevator. Vader, but don't. It just was weird how he said it. It was like, dude, you could have asked me when we got to know each other better. Six, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 months down the road. You know. Do you know what I mean? It was that was the first incident. I mean, 2 weeks in, man. You know. Okay, guys. See you later. I'm going to tell you, about Tom and why Tom, in the next video. Stay tuned.